You should change your name to laughter. You bring joy to every room. Whoa.
Mr. Dennis is an American pastor who had promised himself to never marry or date again after his painful divorce 12 years ago. He vowed to focus on spreading the word of God and doing missionary work. While Kursum is a Ugandan gospel artist who had given up on love after her painful breakup with her ex-boyfriend whom she had dated for 4 years, and she thought she would never find true love again. Kursum had also told her mom that she never wanted to get married. But years later, Kursum decided to give love a second chance. As a born-again Christian, Kursum prayed to God every day for a man who will come ready to marry her and not just to date her. She wanted a born-again Christian and God-fearing man. Kursum was also inspired by Becky's loving marriage. Becky is also a Ugandan gospel artist married to an American pastor. I previously shared their incredible journey on how they met. You can please go watch their story. Kursum told Becky to pray for her so that she could be blessed with a God-fearing and understanding man. Becky took Kursum to Destiny Prayer Mountain and they prayed together so that God could bless Kursum with a white husband as well. At church, there was a lady named Prophet Gloria. She prayed for Kursum and she told her that she'll be blessed and everything in her life will move very fast. And even Kursum's mother prayed for her every day so that God could bless her with a husband. Kursum said even her friend named Viola took her to Mutunde church and they prayed together. And after a while, she told Kursum that she had a dream about her, that she was getting married. Months later, Pastor Dennis traveled to Uganda for missionary work. After being in Uganda for a while, he was prepared to return back to the United States. However, when he arrived at the airport, he was told he couldn't travel because he had tested positive for COVID-19. A few days later, Pastor Dennis returned to the airport and the test results showed he still had COVID-19. The airport officials told him that if he returns to the airport again with a positive test, he will be arrested. While stuck in Uganda, Pastor Dennis went online and searched for a church where he could go and attend a Sunday service. Fortunately, he was able to find a church where he could go for a Sunday service. And guess what? It was Pastor Ramsey preaching that day. After the church service, Pastor Dennis and Pastor Ramsey interacted, and Pastor Ramsey invited Pastor Dennis to his home. He accepted the invitation. When Pastor Dennis arrived at Pastor Ramsey's home, he had no idea that his life was about to change forever. Kursum was Becky's best friend and she used to stay at her home once in a while. And it so happened that she was there the day Pastor Dennis paid a visit. The moment she walked in, Pastor Dennis set his eyes on her and he liked her. It was love at first sight. They all had great time getting to know each other, but Pastor Dennis was supposed to leave that day, but unfortunately it was already late, so he decided to stay for a night. And Kursum also stayed for a night, but she was given a different bedroom. That night, Pastor Dennis prayed to God. He told God that he didn't want Kursum to go to work the next day. The next morning, it rained so heavily and Kursum couldn't go to work. Then, so God answered Pastor Dennis's prayer. Pastor Dennis asked Kursum to join him for swimming, and Kursum agreed. But she asked Becky to join them, and they had so much fun. But the next day, Pastor Dennis had a flight. But this time when he was traveling back to the US, he tested negative. What a miracle. Kursum had no idea that Pastor Dennis was falling in love with her. She just thought they were just friends getting to know each other. After Pastor Dennis returned to the United States, he consistently called and texted Kursum every day. Their connection grew stronger and they officially started dating, and Pastor Dennis promised Kulsum that he was going to marry her. Pastor Dennis suggested that Kulsum should quit her job since it was far away from her home, and he promised to take care of her. Every month he made sure that he supported her financially. He got her a very beautiful apartment in Bunga and he furnished it. And he made sure she was well taken care of. On Valentine's Day, Pastor Dennis surprised Kulsum with beautiful Valentine gifts and he shipped them through DHL. However, when she arrived at the DHL office, she was requested to pay delivery fee to receive her gifts. Pastor Dennis insisted that she should get the gifts because he had sent them to wish her a happy Valentine's Day, and he then sent money for delivery fee. That was so thoughtful of him. In the same month, Pastor Dennis returned to Uganda, and this time he had traveled for one reason: to marry Kulsum. When Pastor Dennis arrived in Uganda, Kulsum went to pick him at the airport. But Kulsum's mouth had swollen. This made her feel insecure and she thought when Pastor Dennis looks at her, he wouldn't love her anymore and he would think she has a big mouth, and this made her feel uncomfortable. She was so happy to see him and she told him that her mouth had swollen. He instead said, "It's okay, you still look beautiful and your mouth looks cute too." And he kissed her on her lips, and that made her feel very confident. Pastor Dennis is such a gentleman. He then booked Victoria View Hotel in Entebbe, which was really beautiful. The next morning, when Kulsum was washing dishes, Pastor Dennis kept looking at her for long without saying anything, and every time she would turn, she would find him looking at her. She kept wondering why he was looking at her, and she thought maybe he thinks she's ugly and he wants to change his mind. And then she asked him why he was looking at her, and he said nothing. While she was busy washing dishes, he then grabbed her without her noticing and he put her on the couch. He asked her a big question: "Will you marry me?" Kulsum says she thought it's easy to say yes when your partner proposes to you, and that she thought women who cry when they are proposed to are always pretending to cry. She said when Pastor Dennis proposed to her, she cried for about 30 minutes and that Pastor Dennis cried too. He asked her why she was crying and if she was afraid to marry him. He then told her that he wasn't going to mistreat her and that he was going to treat her right. And then she said, "Yes, I'll marry you." That was such a beautiful, emotional moment. I wish it was captured on camera. This was Kulsum's dream come true. She always prayed for a born-again Christian and God-fearing man ready to marry her, and God answered her prayers. Kulsum told her mother about it, and she was very happy for her. And she asked her if she really loved Pastor Dennis and if they had planned to have kids in the future. Kulsum told her that she really loved him so much and they had talked about their future together. They had a very beautiful introduction and everyone looked so great. It was such a beautiful moment.
Be closer, closer, closer. We'll be waiting all my life, and I will cross for you the ocean. We have no reasons to deny. We must be closer.
Next, they had a civil wedding that was beautiful and memorable.
You should change your name to laughter. You bring joy to every room. All the voices vanish after hearing such a lovely tune. In a world that's so imperfect, every word you say is music. You should change your name.
After getting married, Pastor Dennis had to fly back to the US. But on Kulsum's birthday, Pastor Dennis flew back to Uganda for only 4 days just to celebrate her birthday. That really surprised Kulsum, and she told him he shouldn't have spent a lot of money on a flight ticket just to spend with her only 4 days for her birthday. And he instead said it's important for him to celebrate her birthday. Kulsum says she never used to think birthdays were really important until she met Pastor Dennis. That even when she was younger, her mom used to sing for her happy birthday songs, and she thought it wasn't something really important. And she says up to now, Pastor Dennis makes her birthdays very, very special. Pastor Dennis helped Kulsum apply for a spouse visa. Kulsum says she then started getting dreams about her passport and other travel documents getting stolen. She then went to church for prayers. At church, there was Pastor Jonathan Nsubga who prayed for her and told her that her travel documents were stolen in the spiritual world and that the angels were fighting to bring her travel documents back to her. After getting delivered, she said a week later she started receiving notifications from the embassy regarding her visa, and in a short period of time, her visa was approved and she had to travel to the US. Pastor Dennis, his friends and family were very happy to see her, and they welcomed her in a very special way. Kulsum and Pastor Dennis are now living a happily ever after in the United States. Kulsum says Pastor Dennis calls her his COVID wife Miracle and Cinderella, and that she calls him Sweet 16 husband. And God blessed them with a very handsome baby boy, and they have been married for 2.5 years. But just like any other interracial couple, Pastor Dennis and Kulsum faced some challenges. They said that Pastor Dennis was broke because he made a simple and small introduction, and that they will never have kids. They also said that Kulsum only married Pastor Dennis because of his money, and that she just wanted the American visa. People said he was very old and that he had married her just to use her and leave her in Uganda. Despite the negativity, Pastor Dennis and Kulsum focused on their marriage. Kulsum advises single women searching for love that you should pray to God and trust His timing, that when the timing is right, God will bring you a right person into your life. She said don't focus on skin color, that you should only choose a partner who loves and cares for you. This was such an amazing love story. If you want to know more about Pastor Dennis and Kulsum, you can please go and subscribe to their channel. They have amazing videos that you would love to watch. Thanks for watching to the end, and if you found their story very inspiring, please give me a purple heart in the comment section, and please subscribe for more interracial love stories that I'll be uploading in my next videos. So guys, catch you in the next one. Bye. Mwah.